If you're talking about it, we're talking about it. AM 870 KIEV, Glendale, Los Angeles, your talk station.
The Cutting Edge on the KIEV Weekend Magazine is sponsored by the Academy Entertainment Group.
Hi, this is Captain Chaos, and I'm really hot as I look over at Mystica, you know. Cheryl, Lily, Cliff, and Catherine, and Chase, thank you for being so kind to Ronald Vaughn and myself during Thanksgiving. And also, it was great as we hung out there on Sunset with the mayor of Sunset Strip, Ronnie Bingenheimer and Kraz and a few others. It was
That's
really
right,
kind of fun.
Captain. We went to the Argyle.
Yeah, was it okay or what?
Fantastic. Golden feed bag was involved.
A golden feed bag, and to all the folks out there, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
Yep.
My food, I thought was kind of not too tasty, but I handed it over to my friend Ronald Vaughn, and he enjoyed it with his Hobie and all that. And we're going to have some fun tonight here on the Cutting Edge Subterranean Music Show, which is 870
a.m.
Am I doing it right, or am
Sure.
I?
870 a.m.
Okay.
KIEV.
Is that what
That's where we're at.
Okay, and we have a great author here by the name of what, Ronald?
So Mr. Englehart, right?
Christoper.
Right.
All right, great. And the reason why we left the door open tonight is so we could have all this confusion in this back feed. And what have you, okay? Because it's really hot in here, you know, and the oven isn't on here at 8:70 a.m. And whoa, we are just so. I mean, after last week with a surprise guest or
Call in, you know.
a guy that
A guy named Brian Wilson.
he grants a lot of interviews,
Never, except maybe with Rodney.
and I think he does talk to Mr. Englehart, doesn't he?
We corresponded by fax.
Oh, but you've never talked to him on the phone?
Yeah, actually I have. I talked to him on the phone about 10 days ago.
Wow.
But, I mean, for the information in the book, we corresponded by fax.
But I mean, Brian Wilson did call our show.
My hero.
He is so fab. And Christoper did this book called Beatles Undercover, and we're going to get into it with him in a moment, along with maybe a phone call from...
Phone call probably from Mr. Roy Sakawa, who was John Lennon's chief sound engineer and owner of Record Plant Studios in New York.
How about Gordon of Peter and Gordon?
Yeah, Gordon Waller of Peter and Gordon, who's out at Beatle Fest this weekend at the LAX Marriott Hotel.
And how about a little Delaney and Bonnie action, and maybe Delaney calling up? Or
I've been knocking on Delaney's phone earlier this evening, and I haven't gotten any response. So I don't know if we'll have any luck scaring him up tonight.
Let's get into it here at KIEV or 870 or whatever.
The
Cutting Edge Subterranean Music Show. Boo, hit it, Jeff.
a child of winter, a child of the snow, making a snowball that someone will throw, making a snowman with charcoal for the eyes, a scarf draped in red, and a derby on his head. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blitzen, all his reindeer pulling on the rein. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. Hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. The evening of Christmas, presents have been passed. The wood in the fireplace is blowing its blast. I'm closing my eyes now. In my bed I'm snuggling. Outside the window, the carolers sing. Christmas comes and the snow covers all. Trees are decorated with tinsel and light. Mama's in the kitchen making cookies and bread. The children are hungry, they're waiting to be fed. A child of Christmas, a child of snow, a wonderful feeling underneath the mistletoe. And may your Christmas last all year, with laughter of children, peace and cheer. A child of Christmas.
was way back when. Well, do you still have to carry that cross? Don't wanna hear about it. I'm losing you. I'm losing you. Ooh.
870 AM, the Cutting Edge, KIV. Or is that how we're supposed to say it? Or is it like Mystica or Debster or, Bingham or K? How are we supposed to do it? Come on, Richard.
Cutting Edge Subterranean Music Show, 870 AM.
Or is it 870 KIV AM?
I think it's up to you, It's your show, so.
Well, no, I don't own the station here. I just know that we might be going on another evening, and they might be adding our time because I think we have
the show's so cool?
Well, actually, it's now a little bit cooler thanks to Pappy Lopez. He lowered the temperature. It's quite warm in here. I thought we were going to cook some turkeys tonight. But thanks to our friend over there, Jeff, and Ronald Frederick Vaughn, who happens to be here in beautiful Glendale, California.
Mm-hmm. How about we give out some caller numbers?
What, calling numbers?
877 toll-free, 870-KIEV.
Okay, can we get Mystica to do it in Spanish over there in Master Control and Espanol? Come on, let's hit there, Mystica, our engineer that was an intern here on the Cutting Edge Subterranean Music Show, and now I understand she's employed at KIEV. I just found out today when I showed up. So, how do we do it in Spanish there?
KIEV 870 AM.
Okay, do it real fast for Jason Jeffries, our program director that's been really supportive of us here.
Okay, it's KIEV 870 AM.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in love.
Oh, wow. She does have a good face, and she has a nice smile. I wasn't the most pleasant person tonight there, Cheryl and Victrola and the Persian Princess and all you folks out there.
Mystica.
Yeah, thank you. Grazie. Merci. Kamsahamnida. And Korean, we have a special guest here tonight. And again, thank you for that nice, great festive food there, Cheryl. And all of our love goes out to your family.
Oh, Captain,
very special to us. Okay. But I want to say that. And one goes out to my friend Rodney, whose mom, Marion, was very close to him. Okay, let's back announce that there, Frederick. Ronald Vaughn.
Yeah, we had John Lennon on a special track with Cheap Trick, I'm Losing You, preceded by Brian Wilson, South American, and of course Brian Wilson involvement, Beach Boys, Child of Winter. And we started off with the Ramonas, which is a female Ramones type of hustle. They're no longer together, unfortunately. The Santa's Got a GTO, which is more or less off the Rodney Binghammer Christmas album, the same name, which you can get, incidentally, at Tower Records or Virgin Megastore, these big places.
But there's a lot of other tunes on that.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I hear it's creating some sort of excitement there.
Yeah, for Rodney and everything.
Okay, that Beach Boys tune that we played, though, going back, Child of Winter, Stephen Klinich helped write that with Brian Wilson. You know who Stephen Klinich is?
I know who he is. I don't know him, but yeah, I know who he is.
Okay. Richard.
Yeah.
Isn't it great to have a fan? I mean, this is the first time we've interviewed an author here at KIV, as far as our show, Cutting Subterranean Music Show,
right.
this chaotic little scene here. Okay, I'm going to start out with the questions, and maybe you have the answers, okay?
For Mr. Chris Englehart?
Yeah, Chris Englehart, that has a book, Beatles Undercover. Where do they get this Beatles Undercover book for starters?
You can get that book at just about any major retail book outlet, anywhere in the U.S. of A. and Canada, and a few stores in Great Britain. And you can also get it down at Beatlefest this weekend at the LAX Marriott Hotel, where I'll be signing copies for a very reasonable price.
You can also get it at a Mamas and Pops place too, right? Not the Mamas and Pops as a group.
Some of them, but you're better off trying to find it in the major chains, the Barnes and the Nobles and all those Borders and all those fun places.
Speaking of Beatlefest, information on that, you can call toll-free 1-800-BEATLES, right?
Yep.
Okay, and if you have any questions for us when you can't reach us here at the station, you can call us at 310-556-2404. That's 310-556-2404. And their demos for the unsigned artists, independent artists, can be sent to where, Richard?
KIEV 870, P.O. Box 29023, Glendale, California.
Can you repeat that again?
Sure.
Memorize it.
It's P.O. Box 29023, Glendale, California 91029.
Okay. Now, Mr. Arthur here.
Mr. Awful.
Mr. No, author, or I think
Not Arthur.
Author? No. Is he a writer? I mean, isn't it an author?
Yeah,
Okay. In all your research, phone calls, interviews, flying back and forth to New York from Michigan, which I believe you're from, what really had major impact on you with doing this great book, which I've never read a full book in my life, but I think this is going to probably be my first book I read. And I have to say, it's incredulous.
Thank you. What was the highlight? Is that the question?
Yeah, I mean, what kind of like made you like go like little this, little that, and up there
Madness,
and having the best pasta you've ever tasted in the world?
Oh, yeah, well, I love to eat, so that's why I flew to New York.
Okay.
But madness, this is my monument to madness, this book. I mean, I spent 7 years on it, interviewed about 400 people. There's 220 artists the book covers, and about 170 of those 220 artists I interviewed. And for me, I think the highlight, or the high point of the whole project, was when I went to New York and met Mr. Roy Sakala, who was John Lennon's sound engineer and the owner of Record Plant Studios in New York. And when I went out to meet with him, we rummaged through some old tape boxes and came across some recordings that John had produced for Roy's wife, Laurie Burton. And they did about a half a dozen tracks in early 1975. And Roy was kind enough to allow me to use some of those tracks on a bonus CD, which is included with the book, which John produced and wrote the lyrics to. And
that's exciting. Now, I have a question for you as far as that youthful guy over there that never ages. Rodney Bingenheimer. What? No. Okay. What involvement did he have with the book, the Beatles, and I couldn't get much info out of him.
Yeah, how Rodney came into the picture?
I mean, did he lend his GTO out to,
Well, what happened was that it was sort of a situation of referrals. You'd talk to someone and someone else would say, well, you really need to talk to Rodney Bingenheimer. And the reason that I contacted Rodney was because Rodney was at the sessions the night that Paul McCartney showed up for the vegetable sessions that the Beach Boys did. And
did they actually eat vegetables? Or
yeah, they actually munched on celery. Paul McCartney munched on some celery that Brian apparently had brought down to the studio, and Rodney was there. So I kind of picked Rodney's brain about that evening and what took place and what went down.
To be there with Paul McCartney, Brian Wilson, I mean, that's...
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up with the Beatles, and you have this just great book, and having dinner with Rodney Bingenheimer on Sunset Strip. Of course, they're doing a movie on the mayor of Sunset Strip, Rodney Bingenheimer, and I was trying to get some info out of him, and then you throw this.
Well, he was too busy eating oatmeal when I saw him.
Well, God.
He was munching down some oatmeal at 1 in the afternoon. It was quite a sight.
Oh, gosh.
Breakfast of champions.
Mr. Englehart.
Yeah.
I have a couple of left field, offbeat questions for you. First of all, I'd heard this weird rumor, something for at least a couple of people, that in 1976, at this very moment in time, exactly 22 years ago, on the show Saturday Night Live, was supposed to have been a Beatles reunion, but one of the two of the ex-Beatles got lost in a taxi in New York. It seemed ridiculous when I heard it. Is that just really true?
It apparently is true. If folks remember, the Beatles, or Lorne Michaels had challenged the Beatles to make an appearance on the show for like union scale, because at the time there was this offer from Sid Bernstein, who had offered the Beatles $50 million to reform and give a show, and Lorne Michaels thought that was kind of funny, so he made an offer on Saturday Night Live to have the Beatles perform for like $300 or $400, some ridiculous sum. And one weekend, Paul McCartney was visiting John Lennon at the Dakota Apartments in New York, and apparently they thought the whole thing was rather funny, and they hopped in a cab or in a limo or something, and were headed down to the studios and were actually going to appear on the show, but somehow they got lost, as the story goes, and never ended up there in time. But
Okay, the other thing is, since I have one of the only remaining collections left on the pioneering all-female band Fanny, and I hope to do a documentary on them someday, this is like material, it's like the Dead Sea Scrolls have been lost even to scholars for like 25 years. In your book, you mentioned that the Beatles more or less did not really ever play, not really connected, and that they didn't play on any of the Fanny albums. But there was like a double or triple connection between the ex-Beatles and Fanny.
yeah, well, Fanny, George Harrison had actually given Fanny their name.
From the Mike Douglas show. I have the little tape of that.
Wow.
And they recorded at Apple in, I think, December of 1971.
Yeah, that would have been the Fanny Hill sessions,
Right.
December 71.
Right.
They did Hey Bulldog, I
Right.
believe it. And what Jeff Emmerich was the Beatles engineer,
Yep.
was also their engineer on
That is
that.
correct. And Richard Perry produced the sessions.
And Paul McCartney, which I personally met in March 20th of 1975 outside the now defunct Wally Hyder Studios in Hollywood. He was with Linda at the time, and he confirmed to me that he had been at the Sea Saint Studios in New Orleans, Louisiana, in 1974, when June Millington of Fanny was also there. She was with an all-female band called Isis.
Yeah,
so that's
right.
There was a Beatles-Fanny connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And George Harrison did attend some of their sessions
Well,
at Apple.
going back to Richard Perry, I used to park his car, and he was such a nice guy. He used to give me, like, I believe $2, sometimes in quarters, but that was kind of far out there, over there at the Old World on Sunset, where I dropped Karen Carpenter's birthday cake on Sunset, and we love her. You are tuned into AM, KIEV, the music, the talk, the everything, AM, the Cutting Edge Subterranean Music Show. This is Captain Chaos. I happen to be with Mr. Christoper Englehart, Ronald Vaughn, Richard Lopez. We have Mystica Debster and Jeff and all of us here.
And callers.
We're going to get right to the callers, and let's hit it with maybe one of the great singers, writers, what have you, who unfortunately passed at the Dakotas, Mr. Julian Lennon, here at KIEV.
What's the number here?
870 KIEV, the Cutting Edge Subterranean Music Show. This is Captain Chaos. I happen to be with our friend here, Christoper Englehart, who's getting in touch with Roy Sakala, or Sakala, or one of those, and then hopefully Peter or Gordon, or somebody from Peter and Gordon's going to be calling in. Maybe Delaney's going to be hitting it. And that last unsigned band or independent band, what was it?
Raquel Zante, half East Indian singer-guitarist. It was the winner of the Dueling Divas contest. She won a $5,000 prize. I think maybe next week we'll be able to have time to get to an interview I did with her.
And before that was what?
Beatles. And from the Revolver album, Love to You.
Okay, and before that was Julian Lennon. And I really like Julian Lennon. I wish he'd come back with some music. Question for you, Mr. Christoper Englehart, who's going to be at the Beatles Fest all weekend there down at the Marriott in L.A. over there on, is it on what Boulevard there? Manchester?
Century.
Century. How much intermix do the kids, like, in other words, Julian Lennon and Sean, do they intermix much with Paul McCartney's daughters?
Yeah.
Does Zach Starr hang out with some of Harrison's kids there?
Yeah. There's a fairly close-knit family there. I mean, it's, they really are like brothers and nephews and cousins and that kind of thing. I mean, I think they view each other in that sort of a relationship.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, McCartney's daughters and Ringo's kids, they hang.
Okay, is it true that Phil Spector, he was involved in reproducing or doing
reproducing would be a good idea.
Reproducing?
Well,
many hits.
Phil actually was hired on as a sort of A&R man at Apple Records, and shortly thereafter, his wife Ronnie Spector from Ronnie Ronettes started to record an album for Apple, and they only got a few tracks into it. George Harrison was involved along with Phil in producing it and playing on the album.
Okay. I'm scared of flying, I'm scared of getting on plane and flying and so forth. Is it true, though, that Phil Spector felt most comfortable when he was flying with the Beatles? Ronald and I were talking about, and I think he threw that by Rodney Bingenheimer, who's on Sunday nights at 106.7 on KROQ. Is it true that he felt comfortable with flying with the Beatles? He felt the plane wouldn't go down?
Well, I know Phil doesn't like to fly, and he did fly when the Beatles came to America in '64 to do the Ed Sullivan Show and to do a few dates here, February 7th as it is 1964. Phil was on the plane. He basically tossed the Ronettes off. They used their tickets and left them to catch another plane in England back to America so Phil could be on the plane with the Beatles.
Okay, we're going to go to Richard, our DJ, student DJ, as Mystica's smiling at me. Go ahead.
Right now. How's it going, Mr. Englehart? Yeah, I was wondering, you interviewed a lot of different musicians and different people, and in the musicians, what would you say was, like, the main thing that was found most common among most of them, that something that connected them all?
I think they all had a great admiration for the Beatles. I mean, it's one thing to say, if you were to ask a Beatle whose session they played on, they may not remember. But if you were to ask another musician if a Beatle played on his session, they would remember. I mean, when I talked to most of these musicians and they recalled the day a Beatle showed up, their memory was pretty vivid of that event. I mean, it's not every day a Beatle walks into your session and says, hey, you want me to play guitar, you want me to play drums on your track. So it was a big deal. And nearly everyone I talked to was a huge Beatle fan.
Wow. I mean...
Were the Beatles ever fans of women musicians or performers?
Oh, sure. I mean, Paul McCartney worked with Mary Hopkin and...
Rita Coolidge, I think?
Well, George actually had worked with her on the Delaney and Bonnie tour. But sure, obviously Yoko Ono, John Lennon was pretty fond of her.
Rodney Bingenheimer revealed that all four ex-Beatles played on this cut called Tandoori Chicken, one of Ronnie Spector's solo albums.
Well, George played on Tandoori Chicken. I don't think any of the other Beatles did. Just George.
Okay. This is just chapter 1 with this great guy. He lives in Michigan, and he's got a great book called Beatles Undercover. And, again, I'm going to do my best to read this whole book, but I think I am if I don't get too caught up in trying to make too many turkeys and trying to get Ronald Vaughn over there for some hobie-chobie. That's a little food or feed bag.
It's all fun.
Oh, God, it's...
free of charge, right?
Well, actually, He hasn't charged me yet. And you are tuned into Chaos here and Captain and this and that here at AM 870 KIEV. Our call numbers are 1-877-870-KIEV 5438. And again, if you want to reach us for any disturbing news, don't call me. No, call us at 310-556-2404. I thank all of our listeners here. We're going to go in the calendar and we're going to get back with Christoper and some rare songs and some callers, and hopefully we'll get Delaney in, and hopefully the surf's happening for all you folks, and make sure to take your echinacea. Hit there, Ronald.
Okay, it's Ronald Vaughn, and keep up with my reviews in Rock City News also. First of all, I'm putting out a red alert. If you have TV Land Nick at Night channel, at around 5 p.m. or afterwards on Sunday, December 6th, they're going to re-show a very rare thing, a number 2 episode of Sonny and Cher from August of 1971 that actually has Fanny on it doing the song Charity Ball. That's right, the same Fanny.
Who is Fanny?
The pioneering all-female band from the 70s in my archive. They were on Warner Reprise for 5 albums.
And it's even mentioned in Christopher's book about Fanny.
Yeah, as we previously
Gotcha and I gotcha, gotcha and I caught you, little mangy mutt.
Of course, the Beatles Fest itself is occurring again on, was it LAX area?
Yeah, that's at the Marriott
this weekend.
Hotel.
Okay, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, this weekend. Anyway, Thursday, do not miss Maria McKee. She's ex-Lone Justice singer-guitarist, making a very rare appearance at the Hollywood Athletic Club. She's been out of sight for the last 2.5 years, and